Hey all, welcome back to Themis and Thought. Grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking, go and get that. I am so sorry that I'm not there with you all today. I wish I was there to go live and us chop it up, but it's midnight right now, the day before my flight, and I decided that instead of really packing, I'm going to give you guys a video that operates kind of like a live stream. So I hope you all like it. Instead of doing one video, I'll do one main topic and then a bunch. Initially, I wanted to talk about the Pop the Balloon show and other shows like it, but specifically Pop the Balloon, and really engage with how disturbing I think it is, how humiliating it must be for people who engage with it, and fundamentally how detrimental I think it is for everyone involved, from the people participating to the viewers. But we are not doing that today. Instead, we're going to watch this man who apparently they're calling the Ninja Turtle scammer, the scamming Ninja Turtle who went viral for being absolutely diabolical. We're going to discuss him, but not just him by himself, him in the context of mediocre tutorials and review. And the reason I believe rushing into protecting these men might not be in your best interests. And I think mediocre and what mediocre did was emblematic of a culture in terms of it being broadcast, right? But less so broadcast for a lot of people when they engage in the way that mediocre tutorial engage, i.e., believe the man and the world is against him or whatever. And then when you look deeper into the situation, he was definitely wrong. He did not deserve forgiveness. He did not deserve empathy. He probably did not get fired, right? He's just acting in a degenerate way. And so we're going to do that. But to make this feel like a live stream, let's do some the intro and warm up, right? So let's watch this together.
Hello, welcome in. I'll have you take that. What's your name?
My name is Chandler.
Chandler?
Yes.
Okay, and Chandler, how old are you?
28.
28, and what do you do?
I'm a fraud analyst. Just look at customers' accounts, make sure that they're fraudulent use of their account number, just pay them back if it's a fraud case. If not, I just deny the claim off the evidence I found.
Okay, pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what are some things you look for in a woman?
Yeah, just kind of like my other half, you know what I mean? Someone that compliments me, someone that's, by my side, definitely loves me for just me, you know?
Okay.
I just popped in just because I don't like your outfit.
Now, is Kayla someone that's your type?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I like the braids. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, tattoos are cool.
Thank you.
She's definitely someone I would approach.
23,
Nice.
and you're just not my type.
No worries.
Like, your whole aesthetic is just not, it doesn't fit me.
No
So,
worries. She's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Love the hair.
All right. So you might not have seen Chandler, depending on if there's a copyright because there's a music over it. If there's music over it, I'm going to just mute it. Absolutely not. But people are whining and crying online talking about, oh, good guys finish last and this is a good guy, blah, blah, blah. We don't even know this man. We do not know this man. For anyone to be out here talking about he's a good guy and this is why good guys go date whomever, whenever, wherever, like they're in a Shakira video, I don't know what you're talking about. No one knows if that's a good man. We don't know. Also, we don't care because you are a good person does not make you deserving of a date with someone. So, like, I don't know what you're talking about. But people are whining and crying online about how this is a good man. Don't care, right? So that's the first thing. Second is all the video essayists come to the front. All the video essayists, I need y'all to come to the front. And the reason I need you to come to the front is I have a topic for you. You know how you all are out there making video essays about absolutely everything and nothing all at once. I have a useless topic that y'all can make a video essay about, right? Now, first of all, yeah, this is absolutely diabolical. This is diabolical. So let me show you. I don't know. I don't even know how to do this for real. So let me show you this. It says golden retrievers are out. The rodent the rodent boyfriends is in. The rodent boyfriend is in the new heartthrob trend. And so essentially what they're saying, are you a frog or a rat? Whoever is doing this, they're saying that the weird faced white men are in now, which they are, right? They are the like weird face. Yeah. They said the weird face white men are in. Now, I have questions. Can you imagine? Imagine, if you will, you are one of these celebrities and you're online talking about being the top 1% in terms of beauty or whatever, and you're changing the beauty standards or whatever. And then you see an article that says rodent face men are in, and your picture. Wait, sorry. Imagine seeing an article saying rodent face men are in, and when you scroll through the image of these quote unquote rodent face men, you see a picture of yourself being described by journalists, pop culture enthusiasts as rodent. Anyway, absolutely not. I don't care what. I do actually believe. I do actually believe. I do actually believe. For some reason, I believe I understand what the people who write the articles are saying, because I do think it's like the weird face men are in or whatever. But like, girl, no. Anyway, just wanted to clear that up. I think I have one more. I have one more for you before we get into this video. I wish I could pause the stream because people are texting me at night. Oh, my nails are black. I don't know if I told you that my cousin painted my nails black and I actually like it. We were trying to do streaks and like numbers or whatever, and it just completely failed. Anywho, let's continue.
I'm mixed race, Mexican, black, so we have a lot of get-togethers, and I love to take I'm mixed race, Mexican. I'm mixed race, I'm mixed race, Mexican, black, so we have a lot of get-togethers, and I love to take I'm mixed race, Mexican, black, so we have a lot of get-togethers, and I love to take
The absolute the absolute disappointment in that man's face looking at his brethren. The absolute disappointment in that man's face in the purple. Oh, we're wearing the same shirt. He has the purple one. Anywho, the absolute no, we're not. This is a full button down. That is a polo. Anywho, the absolute disappointment in that man's face looking at his brethren talking about how he is mixed race, not even black and Mexican. I find it diabolical to start with Mexican and then black, right? You know what I mean? Like, how you gonna say you're mixed race, Mexican and black? Lupita is Mexican. Lupita is Mexican, mind you. So, like, I'm gonna need to see who the Mexican side of your family is talking about your mixed race. I don't actually care, but the fact that you go and drop Mexican first is absolutely wild and diabolical to me. It is. I don't know what to say. I'm not even gonna go into this because it is already too late and I need to get into this video. So let's get into the video now that I wanted to talk to you all about. Mediocre Tutorial and Abba and Preach have been going back and forth online because they wanted to defend this man who apparently went on the Pop the Balloon show and he had a bunch of degenerate things to say. So let's get into the video. Because I don't want this video to be longer than it is and it's too late at night, let me just give you a brief summary. This guy is on the Pop the Balloon show and he's being really disrespectful, in my opinion. The ladies who turned him down, he has this thing where he just wants to drag them. Part of the show, it goes viral, whatever. In any case, people have been talking about how he is a terrible person. He then came out and said that he was fired, he was a plumber, and he lost his job as a plumber, and now he has a GoFundMe and he's telling people to give him money. Meanwhile, he's at the club throwing money. And on the show, the Pop the Balloon show, at some point he stated that he could pull out $100,000. Now, it is odd to be pulling out $100,000 when you weren't able to find a place to stay and had to be living with your girlfriend just a year ago. Maybe you were saving, and so now you have over $100,000 and you're in the club throwing money around. It is what it is. That's not important. I don't care about that man. I'll pop the balloon. I care about Mediocre Tutorial, who came out and defended this man. He was out here talking about, oh, this is just a masculine man. And when men are masculine, people don't like that. And he wasn't disrespectful. It was just masculinity, and you all can't take masculinity. This is what Mediocre Tutorial was talking about, right? And now I wish I could go through his 5-hour live stream. I wish I could go through all his videos defending this man. Let me give you, at least I can give you one. I owe it to y'all to show you at least one of the videos where Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews was out here caping for this man, talking about how people just don't understand masculinity. Let's play.
It is a dating show, internet dating show, where men and women line up and they pop balloons if they're interested or they're not interested. And in the conversations in between the balloon pop is usually what the sell of the show is. It's very entertaining. The content creators are doing an absolutely fantastic job, and kudos to them. But there was a particular conversation and discussion that needs to be addressed, because not only is this guy getting drugged through the mud for what is being described as sassy behavior, for sticking up for and defending himself, but then also he was fired from his job. Absolutely nasty work. But you guys already know that we go over behavior on this channel. So let's go over the complete discussion as well as the aftermath to determine what are the lessons learned. Without further ado.
Now, obviously, I want to play the entire thing, and maybe when I come back from vacation, which is going to be 2 weeks from now, or wait, it's going to be a week from now. When this goes up, it will be a week. So maybe y'all won't want us to move on, because I would actually love to go through a lot of this, a lot of his review, and like go back and forth. Let me know in the comments if you all would like that. I know it's going to be like a week later, but I actually want to, and I really like Yanni's review, and I want to discuss it, because these men sit up here and tell you that you need to vet, and you chose him, and you chose wrong, and you should vet, and you should vet. Remember that. Now look at Mediocre Tutorial. Y'all have to look at this. Yeah, this is the video we're gonna watch right now. This is Mediocre Tutorial. Yeah.
There's been an update, a major update, a serious update in the story regarding the Pop the Balloon guy. After I asked him to provide receipts to prove that he lost his job, he got mad at me, and I'm gonna show you that. Before that, let's get into his GoFundMe. Now, mind you, this GoFundMe is how I came across this story. The Pop the Balloon story is something that happened a couple of weeks ago. What made it viral was him informing people on his Instagram, him uploading this GoFundMe, saying that he was fired from his workplace because of 500 people called in because they were mad at the results of the show. They were mad at his demeanor on the show. You can see right here, right in the GoFundMe, it says, I was fired from work today due to these videos. Today was honestly the first time that I cried in a while. Getting my license in plumbing was the biggest life accomplishment. It took years of hard work, studying, and praying. And then he also added some things in here about who he provides free plumbing services to. And then he goes to say what he's going to do with the funds. He's saying humanitarian work, and then maybe he wants to become a content creator because now his ability to work is compromised. After I got wind of this, I did an initial reaction to it where I focused on the basic premise of, was his behavior on the show indicative of him then getting fired? But again, I would have not known about this unless he told people and convinced us all that he got fired. But because, and I've said this multiple times before on multiple different videos, including the live streams that I did, because he has not showed hard receipts or proof of being fired, I never told anybody to go and donate to the young brother. So I tried to
I never told anyone to go donate to him. What do you mean you never told anyone to go donate to him? That doesn't make sense, MTR. When you put his Cash App up there, you put the GoFundMe on the screen, you literally help this man, promote this man in front of your over 700,000 viewers, subscribers, whatever you want to call it. And you don't understand, talking about, oh, I never told you. That is not accountability. You're not taking accountability for using your platform to stick it to these women by allegedly promoting a scammer. An alleged scammer. The alleged right there is a scammer, not that he promoted. You promoted, there's no allegedly here. You promoted his Cash App, something about handsome. You promoted his GoFundMe. You told him that he needed to create a channel. You engaged with him in a way that indicated that you trusted and believed him, and he provided you with proof of something or another, so much so that you were willing to stick beside him. Even where Abba and Preach came forward and dragged you and dragged him, you stuck beside him. Now, I will say it is fascinating to go through this story insofar as a lot of people, men and women, were like, yeah, no, this man is a scammer. A lot of men try to kind of brush off his behavior and say, okay, whatever, but we don't care. But they all kind of concluded that something is not right. When he said he could pull out $100,000 where he engaged with the women, pretty much the collective decided, girl, absolutely not. But you, MTR, decided that you were going to cape for him with no proof, with no investment, really, with no reason to go help him. You decided this is a good black man who needs my help, and the system has put him down. And then I sat there and watched a 5-hour interview that you did with him, where you absolutely did not do anything insofar as you did not hold his feet to the fire. You did not question him about how he literally moved from one state to another. First time meeting a woman, moved into her home, did not leave her home because he claimed she did not want him to leave. He puts a tracking device in the form of one of his phone in her vehicle to track her and engage with her. And you're like, oh, you can see how that's bad. Oh, yeah, I can see how that's bad. And that's it. That was the end of that conversation. That is toxic. Oh my God, I really want to go over this video now. I cannot. I can't. But you know how MTR out here talking about, oh, he tricked me. Before we go back to that video, let's go to a live stream MTR did. This is MTR just a couple, not even a couple of days. Yesterday, this was MTR yesterday. Before all of it came out, this was MTR with his big cape on, because you can't simp for women, but you sure can simp for these men. It's gay to simp for women. But you can sure sim for these men. So let's hear MTR yesterday. Remember, I just played a video how MTR came back talking about, oh my God, this man scammed me. Yeah. And what about it? And what about it? This man scammed me. The man everyone told me was a scammer scammed me and lied to me. The man who all his girlfriends came out to talk about pretty much how toxic and terrible he is. You decided you were going to trust him and you're going to stick beside him because all these women are lying on him. But you're telling women that they need to know how to vet. These are your leaders, girl. This right here is your leader. This man said he's created a platform to help men grow, to help men understand women and women's behavior, meanwhile completely ignoring men and male behavior. Just completely overlooked. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth that you're going to look at me and tell me that you could not tell that man was toxic from the very first moment he opened his mouth. You're not going to tell me that. You can't tell me during that interview you didn't see a whole host of contradiction, because I did. And everyone else did. You just sat up there, let that man run amok while you interview and got all the subscribers and views from the interview of defending the man without providing any meaningful pushback. Like, useless. Your bias should not come so full force, so prominent in the conversation to where logic completely goes through the window. That is absolutely wild. That is wild. And I'm losing my voice because it's midnight. It's way past my bedtime. All right, let's go to that live stream. Remember, just now we are going to go back to watching the video of, oh my God, he scammed me. He lied to me. He yelled at me. I only asked him. MTR said. MTR said, I called him, I messaged him to ask him about his being fired. What Mary J. Blige said, his firation. MTR messaged this man to ask this man to provide proof of his firation. This man said, girl, get out of my face. But before we get to that, before we get to this man telling MTR to get out of his face, let's hear what MTR had to say initially when he went live to defend the black man because his father and he knows this man and he understands this man and we don't know these men and he loves men. Let me play what MTR had to say. Let me speed this up so y'all can get the full effect. Please don't tell me to slow it down because I'm going to speed it up.
Week while uploading some snippets, because albeit it was 5 hours, which is a long damn time, and especially right now in the TikTok generation, a lot of people are not even going to watch it. So I wanted to go to Club Shay Shay route, just take little snippets, upload it to the channel, let the internet do whatever the internet wants to do with it, react to it, commentate on it. And my purpose of that as well, and one of the main purposes that I wanted to do in order to interview Aaron is to give a different perspective, perhaps another side of a coin than what was the general consensus, which was sassy man behavior, him bad person, lost job. He more than likely deserved it, okay? I wanted to bring him on to understand what was going on, who is he as a person, and unpack these different things, okay? Shout out to Abba and Preach. They just recently uploaded another video response, and I took a look at the video and the comments down below, and let me just say this off of strength. They down there cooking your boy, all right? They're down there cooking. They're cooking me alive. They put me on a damn sear pan and turn that shit up to high, right? They some goddamn oils that they are preparing, and I'm just in the middle of the damn frying pan. Just my back is burnt. Just sizzling around the pan. They flipping me up in the air like a flapjack. I'm being burned alive. So I thought that it was a absolutely and we'll go over some of the comments as well if you guys think that it's appropriate to be able to do so. They're freaking other comments that I saw. They're freaking seeing me alive. Okay. We can absolutely go through the comments. We could go through all of these things, but I wanted to go live, especially because I had time today in order to go live. But I do think that this is a much larger conversation. Would Aaron, on that dating show, the way that he represented himself, be is that a fantastic example of, I don't know, a chick who graduated from Spelman to date, who's, about her business, about her paper, you know what I'm saying, is on a healing journey with, no. Aaron has some demons. Can we not agree on that? Can we not agree in good faith that Aaron got some issues? Aaron got some problems. But what was part of the reason of me doing the live stream is because, let me try to bring this up on the screen, because I noticed it's the TikTok generation, and I know a lot of you guys don't want to invest that amount of time to watch this shit. That's why I was currently working to put on the clips. But there's a lot there. My attempt to have this conversation with him regarding his background was to understand the humanization. There's been a dehumanization. A 10-minute reaction, a 15-minute reaction video is not going to be a good representation of a person and what all that he stands for and the behaviors that we saw. I have people in my comment section arguing and complaining about a 5-hour stream. First of all, shut up. It's 5 hours of free content. I got truckers that also hit me up like, yo, thank you. I got a long road ahead of me. This is like a podcast. I appreciate it. But how do you expect? Let me ask you guys a question. Let me get to the screen real quick. Let me ask you guys a good faith question. How long do you think that you have to talk to a person to understand that person's attitudes, that person's behaviors, that person's life story? How many hours, how many days, how many weeks, how many months do you have to have these shit? I tell you guys, these people who get married after 3 months, you're crazy. You're bugging. You're still in the honeymoon phase. You're not even an understanding of their shadow. But you already get married to him? And shit like that. I told Aaron, you were talking about marriage with a chick that you lived with for 6 weeks, you're bugging. And I told that to him, holding him accountable. And what did he say back? And accountable, you're right. I was bugging. And I hate to get too much off of the point, but shit, you go for a therapy session. What are those, an hour and a half? How many conversations before you break ice of anything in regards to who you are, where you've come from? This man has come from a tortured background. His father was not there. His mother, addicted to drugs, was not there. Raised by grandparents, poisoned against his father by his mother. First thing that he said was, shout out to my mom when I brought up his mom. And then what did he say? Well, we've had some issues and I'm on a healing journey. Y'all go down into the comment sections and you're talking about, oh, why is he bigging up his mom? For what? What? The brother's healing. He had a tortured past. He's had men try to kill him. He's had men try to murder him. He got shot 6 times, 1 in the face. He was in jail for years before he got surgery with a bullet lodged in his face that made him deaf. He was in jail for that. Think about this guy's background. Think about where he's come from. But I ask you this, and this is my main point that I tried to stay on within my reaction videos and what I'm going to continue to stay on. within this live stream. Does a man like that, outside of what we knew of his background, did he deserve to lose his job? Huh?
Well, maybe you should find out if he lost a job. We don't even know if this man had a job. Did you check to see if this man had a job? Because you're doing a lot of talking. You're doing a lot of talking in defense of this man, talking about, oh, they made him lose his job. You said that you would not want a woman who is doing well with her life to date this man because he has quote unquote demons. You've just confessed that he's not a good man. That's what you've just confessed. Even before this moment right here. Let's play this moment again.
Receipts to prove that he lost his job. He got mad at me, and I'm going to show you that. Before that, let's get into his GoFundMe. Now, mind you, this GoFundMe is how I came across.
One more time.
There's been an update, a major update, a serious update in the story regarding the balloon guy. After I asked him to provide receipts to prove that he lost his job, he got mad at me, and I'm going to show you that. Before that, let's get into his GoFundMe. Now, mind you, this GoFundMe is how I came across this story. The Pop the Balloon story is something that happened a couple of weeks ago. What made it viral was him informing people on his Instagram, him uploading this GoFundMe saying that he was fired from his workplace because of 500 people called in because they were mad at the results of the show. They were mad at his demeanor on the show. You can see right here, right in the GoFundMe, it says,
Yo, we gonna watch this full thing. We're gonna watch this full thing in a moment. We are going to watch after MTR found out this man might have been lying. He came back to let us know. But before we go there, we need to go back in time to this live stream where he's defending this man. He goes, I know this man. This man is my family. I know men like this in my family. I am here to support this man. I'm like, girl, this man seems like a lying, scamming a person, a weak, a nothing. Like, I'm sitting here very confused as to why MTR is going hard to defend this man and putting his reputation and his platform to protect this man. Where, like, it's very obvious. You have to have all kinds of blinders. This is not even vetting at this point, right? Like, you have to have all kinds of blinders to not know and not see that that is a toxic man. And he knows it's a toxic man because he said a woman who is being on her healing journey, quote unquote, should not date this man. The video we are going to go into is the one where he is finding out this man lied to him. I might have lied to him. That's what we're going to watch. But before we do that, we need to go back to this live stream where he's going in. I know this man. This man is my brother. This man is my father. This man is my uncle. We see these men and these wicked women want to take this man down. This is what MTR was doing before without any. He had no proof. He just sat up there and listened to this man scam him. And then he's going to sit up there. You want to know something weird? In the video that he does where he finds out the man might have been scamming him because he doesn't want to show proof that he was fired, MTR doesn't even reckon with why he was in defense of this Ninja Turtle looking man. He doesn't engage with why. And I think for accountability to really take hold and for him to evolve as a human being, right, you have to understand fundamentally why it is that you were so willing to put your reputation on the line in defense of this man and not just make a video about him and say, give a different perspective saying, oh, he wasn't toxic. When you look at this man act and you knew he was toxic, you know it because you are saying that you would not want a healed woman to date him because he has demons. You have problems. You know this man is toxic and was looking for a place to stay. Separately, you coming back now and not recognizing why it is that you were able to defend and ignore all the red flags is something that you need to deal with on a sort of deep level because it highlights a blind spot for you and it is just ridiculous. Like, I don't think you're trustworthy because I don't think you do any kind of investigation or logical thinking when it comes to the people who might be on your side of the aisle. And that's the problem. And you can't critique Yanni's side of the aisle for that because at least like Yanni was dragging the lady with the brick too, so she was right on both counts.
Did he deserve to lose his job? We put so much critique and so much criticism on him and his background. So much. Why is there not just as much critique and criticism on the 500 calls that he received from the Legion of the Echo Chamber sister code that said, let's take him down. Let's destroy him. Let's punish him for winning. And that's what it is. If at the end of that show, he didn't get the baddest chick in the lineup, there would have not have been a peep at all. But it's the fact that he won. Ooh. Ooh. It's the fact that he won.
Mind you, winning is him getting the quote unquote baddest chick in the lineup, which he later comes out and said that woman was a gold digger because the woman that he chose went behind the scene to get someone else's number and was quote unquote trying to take money from him and trying to get him to do things and give her money. Now, it's not that this woman saw a suck and tried to link. Like to sit up there and say he won after he interviewed with you and told you, girl, this woman tried to scam me and take money from me is wild. To still claim that he won is wild. But anything to make the quote unquote sisterhood look bad, MTR, you better go in. I can see a blind spot and I don't know why you can't be. I mean, seeing is probably difficult for you. So let's continue.
Oh, think about the nastiness of that. Oh, think about how nasty that is. It's because he won. That's why. Let's dispel the myths. He said it wasn't because the Latina chick up on TikTok started talking about. No, he said it's because of the 500 calls. That's why he said. All right. I'm still looking for his evidence of him even being fired. And I asked it on the stream. Provide me evidence. Show me the written. I don't know if you were a contract. Can they just let you go? Was you off the books? I don't know. Show me the evidence. But that's why, according to him, that's why. Because he won, which is nasty work.
What is nasty work is to not recognize that he's in an at-will employment state and that the employer does not have to give him a reason to fire him. And thus, him telling you that he heard from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend who works at the company he works at that the reason they fired him is because people kept calling is absolutely wild to me. It is absolutely wild that you're taking as gospel what this man is telling you about how he was and why he was fired is wild. The fact that you can't even verify his employment is absolutely disgusting. Now, I will say it is strange to have to determine whether or not someone was employed and whether or not someone was fired. I think that it is such a toxic situation and culture to be in where you have to verify what someone says about their own employment. I think that's wild. Like, I actually think it is on a weird thing to be on YouTube talking to someone and they're lying about, oh, I'm a plumber. And I got fired from being a plumber. That's it feels weird to have to verify that. The thing though is, I, like most people, didn't believe him, right? I didn't believe he was a plumber employed in that way when he's saying he can pull $100,000 out of the bank. That was like, okay, not that they can. It's just a weird thing when a year ago you were with this woman who you said gave you a place to stay. I think that's weird. Similarly, he was talking about how his dad wasn't in his life because his mom poisoned him against his dad, but then said the dad was trying to protect him from going into the street and the dad was trying to prevent him from being in the gangs or whatever he was involved with. It doesn't seem like your dad wasn't there because on one hand your dad wasn't there in your story and on another it sounds like your dad was there trying to prevent you from going the way that you went, and I'm not sure which of those two stories to believe, so I'm just going to say the CDC said they're the most involved dad, so he was there apparently. I don't know. I literally don't know, and that's one of the in the 5-hour conversation with MTR, that's one of the things that stood out to me because he kept referencing his dad when he was growing up, trying to save him and prevent him from getting into the quote unquote street life. But like, he initially talked about his mother being an addict who essentially prevented his dad from being in his life at all. And now that he's grown, he was trying to get a relationship with his dad. So that whole thing didn't make any kind of sense to me. But MTR was so caught up in, I don't know, blackmail worship. Like, there was no pushback, there was no red flag. Like, you were talking about marriage when you knew this woman that you were living with for less than like a month. You moved in after the first night. You thought the woman cheated, but you were, instead of leaving, you were putting trackers on her and trying to isolate her. I don't fully understand how MTR did not get any moment to really provide thoughtful pushback. Like, I feel like there should be a ton of pushback here. In the interview, the 5 hour interview of him just like up there whining and crying about nothing. MTR wanted to start off with the childhood and how were you as a child and what have you went through, and I'm so sorry and this is why you are where you are. The man is toxic. Let it go, Elsa. And now look at you getting scammed. All right, let's continue.
Nasty work because he won. A couple of weeks ago, we went over some content of bear versus man. They asked women out on the street, would you select a bear or would you select a man? And I think, did Abba Preach go over that? They might have gone over that video. To me, the summary of that is the dehumanization of men within our society today. For grown-ass women to actually, with degrees and shit like that, education, to be summarizing or trying to quantify the reasons of why you would select a violent, aggressive animal. This is not man or turtle. This is man or bear. Represents the dehumanization of men. I think having a 15-minute reaction video where you determine by his actions he's sassy without a similar or equal critique to that he was fired because he stood up for him. Okay, whether or not you want to say it's somewhere from he clapped back or he stood up for himself, all the way to being an asshole, right? You could go anywhere in that range, but the fact is, he didn't call them chicks out their name, right? He wasn't, fuck you, bitch, this, that, a third, that's why you, like, you know, he wasn't physically violent towards these women and didn't make a gesture of violence at all. He calmly spoke back. It was a little heat exchange from time to time, but y'all focus on his behavior.
It's interesting because this is the man that tell women that they needed to choose better, they need to vet, they need to not go for the Pookie and Ray Ray and all of that. And yet he's still defending this man who would fall very squarely in whatever Pookie and Ray Ray definition you want to come up with. That man would fall squarely in there. So that he was rejected should be a yay women from their perspective, right? Now, separately, the conversation about what he did, I think it was annoying. Should he be fired for what he did on that show specifically? Well, first he gonna have to have a job. How you gonna be fired? How y'all having conversation about whether this man is fired from a job you don't know if this man has? How you gonna be? Should I come on the screen? I shouldn't come on the. How you gonna be fired? How you gonna be fired from a job you don't got? Allegedly, girl. Allegedly. In the words of Jesse Wu. How you gonna be fired from a job you don't got? Answer me that MTR talking about, should this man be fired? Well, let me put him back on the screen and take me off. He said, should this man be fired? Should he be fired from his job he don't got? Where is this violin, girl? Let me get let me get them.
Focus on his behavior and not their behavior. This is in stark contrast. Excuse me, you guys remember a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Brandon Jamal, who went up to the Fresh and Fit podcast. Brandon Jamal, who was actively on the Fresh and Fit podcast, calling women bitches. Calling women bitches. Diva behavior. Got kicked off. Reached out to the brother. Wanted to have a conversation with him. Right? I went on a cruise. I went and had a vacation. He went and did live stream on other people's platforms. I began to understand a little bit more about him. But he demonstrated what I did not want to show of men. Right? I don't call women bitches on this platform. Right? I don't call them out their name. He didn't show those things. So I thought at least Aaron deserved a conversation. The other guy, especially the Brandon, he was in my comments calling me a pussy, like all of this other shit. I'm just like, I'm just going to ignore you now. Like, you're showing so much baby behavior. I cannot support what this is. And then he went on, shout out to the Saints, he went on his podcast and he continued to crash out even further. I saw something a little bit different out of Aaron. We brought him up, did a live stream with him, and I had 5 hours of my time within a day to try to understand more about him, to unpack his background and why he thinks about life this way. And then to understand what were the consequences for his actions. Because that's what I think we have to understand is the consequences for the actions, is what he did and the way that he demonstrated himself on it. Was that deserving of him losing his job? Was that? I vehemently disagree. Let's change genders. If it was a woman that was saying these things, you're not qualified, would she have received the same amount of criticism? Hashtag equality. My argument is no. Would she have had 500 calls from men, doxing her, finding out her address in order to get her relieved from her position? No. So then my argument is, why is this dehumanization of men? Why is it that when men do things, it is deemed and judged with a much more iron fist than our counterparts? And if I'm over here talking
Again, this man ain't been fired from nothing. You're having a whole conversation about a theoretical, a hypothetical. Girl, are you in law school? You're just coming up with these hyper. This man told you that he got 500. His work got 500 calls. How this man go? No, you really just go and sit up there defending this man, talking about he got fired because 500 black women, 500 black women. It's sounding like a lemonade. You know the interludes in lemonade? 500 black women. Raise your voices. 500 black woman. Let me do give you a Maya Angelou. Girl, it's too late for this. It's too late for this. 500 black girls raised. All right, let me continue playing this because ain't nobody got time for you, MTR. Just useless. Useless. This man sat and played right in your face and you couldn't see it. You want to sit up here talking about you're going to teach men how to be alphas and lean into their masculinity and discern and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And anyway, you're going to do all of that. And you can't even tell when a toxic, weak, a nothing, a B word is in front of you. The question is, would I say no? No, I wouldn't. I would not. I wouldn't even speak to that man because absolutely, this man in the interview, mind you, this is something that I do want to say. I know that MTR is a hack in that in the interview, MTR actually tried to provide cover for this man. Because at one point, the guy says, Aaron is his name. Aaron, I don't know. I'm going to forget it again. It says, all these women had so much to say to me, but they won't say to my face. Why? Why? I mean, they were saying it to your face, first off, because it was in your face. But why do you think they wouldn't do it? And was that a threat? And MTR jumped in immediately when he says this, because he registered it as a threat also and said, yeah, women know that they're protected and men aren't going to hit them because, like, I would be out in the club and there'd be a 5'5" woman pointing in a 6'2", 6'3" man's face, and she just knows she's protected because we men won't hit them. That's what MTR said. I am obviously paraphrasing, but that was cover because that's not what Aaron was talking about. Aaron was talking about you wouldn't do it because he would. Aaron was telling y'all what he would do if you did it. But anyway, let's continue. Let's go back to this because I don't feel bad. Well, no one should feel bad. No one feels bad for MTR. I don't think his subscribers care. I don't think they're not gonna trust him. It's not like they go there to learn masculinity from him. They just want to hear him drag women. So like he's fine.
talking about all of these things within media, such as a Maury show, where they put the women on pedestals for getting their 5th pregnancy test, while they boo each and every man that chose to have sex with a whore, unprotected sex with a whore, and there's not an equality of booze or an equality.
just as a note, notice how he's like, oh, these women are HO whatever. What's her name? The young Miami said without the W, so HO with the E, not WHORE. Anyway, he's saying he doesn't call women the B word, but he definitely calling them the H word girl, period. Just noting that.
Of the consequences of your actions. But I'm also not over here for more decentralized platforms that are not going at these conversations with the same amount of equality. That I've lost a component of my mission. I've lost a component of why I have a platform. Okay? This is on a pathway, from what I can see, to change his life. He's gone from incarcerated, being shot at, being almost killed, terrible upbringing, half of a shelter, to getting his GED while locked up and then becoming a licensed plumber. I don't know if he's a journeyman or I can't remember off the top, to becoming a licensed plumber. Okay? He's trying to fix things. He's trying, but he's rough around the goddamn edges. He needs a mentor. He needs someone like to be his big bro. How much of these men are we leaving by the wayside because we refuse to be their big bros?
Go be his big bro. Go be his big bro. You're like, oh, he's changing his life. What has that man demonstrated to you to have you believe that he's changed his life besides telling you all kinds of lies? And it's not, these are not sophisticated lies, mind you. It's not the lies whereby you can listen to MTR explain what happened in the interaction with Aaron and you're like, you know what? I did not know that he was a bad person. You cannot look at this man and not know. The way you engage, and this is something that I will bring Christianity back up repeatedly. When people say they're Christians, if I don't get the feeling that I get from Alicia, I'm so sorry, Alicia, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You can't be Christian talking about, oh, you got to drag these women. Oh, you got to confront them in this toxic way. The way you engage with these women, for me, indicate that you're just using Christianity as a cover. What do you mean I'm Christian? And then you come on this whole dusty diatribe talking about, oh, I've learned some more and I have grown in my faith. And my faith, meanwhile, you're just sleeping around with people, not care. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So the Christianity bit annoyed me, but MTR didn't even investigate anything. Like, he didn't even, I'm not saying debate this man full out, just like engage. Even when he was like, you leaving your phone in the car to track her whereabout, it's wrong. He didn't even say it's wrong in that way. He's like, you can understand that, right? Almost as if he's pressing upon the other man accountability that the other man didn't claim. Because Aaron, while MTR was asking about if he was tracking this woman, was like, how do I put this? How do I put this? I want to consider how I should say this. Let me figure out how to engage with this, right? He was trying to lie, and MTR just sat there, let this man go, and then finally decided, yep, that's accountability enough for me. He has been accountable. We don't do that ever again. All right, move on. You didn't do anything. And I'm not even saying shame him. I'm saying at least let him be honest about that which he did. At least do that.
We refuse to be their mentors. We refuse to have these conversations with them, pat them on the back and say, I know where you came from, but you're trying. You're trying to do better. How much are we looking to why am I keep on having issues with this word? Dehumanize these young men. But instead we say, oh, I choose the bear. Meanwhile, Aaron would be the first man to defend you. Aaron would be the first one to crash out over a woman. Let's keep it a stack. He's in a married, two kids, married woman's home, falling in love.
It is important to note that the two kids from the woman he was quote unquote wanting to marry that he loves and that loves him, he didn't even know their age, Jiz. Yeah, MTR was like, oh, she had two kids. You dated a single mother. Oh my God, that is the worst thing in the world. That was MTR's take. And MTR randomly asked, so how old are these kids, mind you? And he was like, oh, I'm so fly. Just girl, this man went into a straight Nicki Minaj rap immediately. Immediately, this man went into Cherish's Amnesia song. It's been like this. These kids that this man claimed he loved and loved him and shared a bond, and part of why he didn't want to leave the mother after he thought saw the mother cheating or whatever was because of the kids, the beautiful, beautiful, amazing, kind, sweet, generous kids. Those kids who he just loves and cares for. He's saying, yeah. Yeah, I don't know their ages. I don't know their age. I don't know their name. I don't know what school they go to. I don't even know if they're allergic to anything. I don't know what they like to watch. I don't know what they like to eat. I don't know what they like to do. But yeah, I was a dad. I was a dad. I was a father. He then goes and say, "Oh, the woman lost custody of the children." Meanwhile, this woman is like, "Girl, what? I have 50-50 custody with the father of my children. What do you mean? What do you mean I lost my children?" So MTR just up there, not doing, just doing the absolute least. If there's something called doing the least, he was doing it. Let's go back to the foolishness. Because MTR girl, hang it up, flat screen. Hang it up. Hang it up.
Some simp pookie shit, right? And I let him know that on the live stream in real time. Aaron would be the first one to crash out over a chick. First one. Aaron would be the first. You walking on the street, no context, man or woman fighting. Aaron would be the first one to choke the dude out. Absolutely.
I'm sure he would be probably the first one to be choking people out, but is it this Aaron? Are we talking about this Aaron? He's like, oh, I know Aaron. I'm going to go back to that of him talking about how much he knows Aaron, and Aaron is a good guy. He's rough around the edges. He's just misunderstood. He's just not getting the time of day. Poor Aaron. Let's hear his new tune on Aaron.
Asked him to provide receipts to prove that he lost his job. He got mad at me, and I'm going to show you that. Guy. After I asked him to provide receipts to prove that he lost his job, he got mad at me, and I'm going to show you that. Before that, let's get into his GoFundMe. Now, mind you, this GoFundMe.
He got mad at me. Aaron got mad at me. Aaron got mad at me. Why did Aaron get mad at me? Aaron got mad. Aaron got mad at me. I still don't know why Aaron got mad at me. I asked him to show me that he got fired, and he got mad at me because I wanted him to show me that he got fired, and I thought he was a good guy, and he just went around the edges. Aaron got mad at me. Aaron got mad. Why Aaron got mad at me? Why Aaron got mad at me? I don't know why Aaron got mad at me. Aaron got mad at me. Aaron, why did you get mad at me, Aaron? I got you on and I told them you were good. You couldn't even pretend you were good for like 2 more days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Aaron has a history of beating men up. Where's his history of violence against women?
And that is a question you could actually answer if you actually cared. Oh, there is a history there. I am not putting it out. I am not in the business of putting people's criminal past out there. I'm not in the business of putting people's information out online. But what I saw from content creators who did is very concerning to me. So for you to be sitting up there talking about Aaron has a history of beating up men, that's good. You're saying that as if to say that, oh, he beats men, but he doesn't beat women. Oh, is that good? Is that good? But let's get into this violence against women. Are you sure you want to make that claim? Are you sure you want to make that claim that he has a history of violence against men, but not against women? Are you sure you want to make? Well, we know the answer. He's not sure because he's going to do a follow-up video ignoring the fact that he went full throttle. Like, this is like full throttle defense mode for this man. Simp. If this If there is a thing called simping, this is it. So I'm guessing it again. It is okay to simp for men. That's fine. But if you simp for women, then that's the problem. From straight men. Got it. Got it. Get her done. Get her done. Let me stop.
Where? Show it to me. Show me the data, baby. Show me the data, baby. Show me the data of the Pop the Balloon guy. We've gone over his arrest record to an extent. He probably has some more shit. And I think Albert Priest brought out some extra shit. We've gone over that. We've gone over his disciplinary. He was willing to talk about all of that shit. He'd be the first one to crash out over a chick in his life. He'd be the first one if he had his sister. She comes home and she has a welt underneath her eye. Aaron, no questions asked, would be in that man's face. More than likely causing that man great bodily harm. That's Aaron's personality. He's got some healing to do. We already know. We need to not react in situations, but he comes from a...
So is it his personality or does he have some healing to do? Because if he has some healing to do and it is his personality, are you saying healing is going to cause his personality to change? Are we asking God for personality change right now? Are we asking healing, the process of healing oneself, to cause you to have a different personality? God, I wish I was in my bed laid up. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. But we go. We continue. We push forward. Onward. Let's go. The will MTR wanted us to have a million Dusty Men march in defense of Aaron, who is lying to him and tricking him, using his platform for not. Actually, this is not even the full video that I want to watch, but after let's just play like 5 more minutes of this and then get into the actual video of him coming out saying, Aaron lied to me. How could you lie to me, Aaron? Aaron, how could you lie? I don't know why you thought he wouldn't. Everyone told you this man is a scammer. You decided he's not a scammer. He's a good black man. A good.
From a storied past of reactions. He's a reactor. He said I used to be a crash out. He just reacts in the situations. He just reacts. He doesn't critically think. I don't think he does that the way that I promote stoicism and masculinity. He doesn't just respond. He doesn't strategize. He reacts in the situations. And he's trying to work on it. He's working on that now more, but in his past life, reactor. He'd be the first one. So anyway, emotional. You could say that. And he's demonstrated that. The tracker in the car, and I pressed him on that. I said, wait a minute. So did you put the tracker in the car or not? And he eventually admitted to it, but he took accountability for it. I said, bro, that's wrong. You don't do that. He said, you're right. Did he not? Did he not?
Girl, the way you were doing it, you sound like you were scared of him too. So ain't nobody got time for that. Did he not? No. No. You barely even push back on that. And that's the one thing that you did push back on.
The dehumanization off of he was an asshole. He was not being nice. He won the dating show. To me is mind-boggling. To not have as much heat for those that stand up for cancel culture. Because that's what it is. He lost his job. He lost his livelihood. He lost for his ability to make money. Huh? What? So I had a conversation with him and held him accountable where I needed to hold him accountable. Bro, that was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. Why? Look at the live stream. Look at it. So anyway, I wanted to bring these up because inevitably this needed a conversation. We talk about things such as the male self-deletion rate. A man, he talked about how stressed that he was, right? He hadn't eaten. He hasn't been sleeping. The anxiety is overwhelming. He's got gang members from his past contacting him, sending him death threats because now they know where he is.
Now, are you sure those were from his past? I'm sorry, I'm not going to interrupt. I'm going to play a smaller chunk, like 2 more minutes straight, and then move on. But are you sure those were from his past, girl? Because this man is not to be believed. But we'll get into it because you are defending him. You're in defense mode. So let me let you eat.
He talked about these different things. But there needs to be progression. This is cancel culture slipping over into real life. He could have been broken by this. And he may have become a statistic. Why is the self-deletion rate so much higher for men than women? It's like 4 or 5 times higher. The successful rate, the attempts is higher for women. But why is it so much higher? And I think a large component is that a lot of men don't feel support. Losing your job in a way like this and not even understanding if you can get hired again because of allegations that are online off of someone on a TikTok where they know that you're guilty until proven innocent when they start using the words such as abuser. We know what that can lead to. And that's some real shit. Even outside of the self-deletion. What if he went back and he goes back into a life of crime? Because he has no support.
Okay, I don't disagree with the sentiment here. I do think that men need to be able to find communities where they can, in a healthy way, express themselves and develop. I think the issue with this is honesty. In the way that MTR just found out, this man just lied all through and through, allegedly, the video, right? Made up a whole job, made up a whole firing, made up a whole GoFundMe account where the money is now locked because the GoFundMe people are better at vetting than MTR is. And so, allegedly. And so it is strange to engage in discourse like this about men's self deletion rate and how men need community, which we do. But how you create these communities is important, right? You cannot perpetuate the same toxic ideas around manhood that causes a man to go and delete himself. And so I just don't trust anyone in the manosphere. And I do say manosphere because MTR is definitely in the manosphere. He's number 3 up there on the Homeland Security sponsored watch list. So, period. In any case, I do actually find this really, really sad when we think about men and them being lost, and mostly because they're listening to other men, right? Like if you go to a group of women and you talk to them and you are a decent human being not looking to take something from them, I think you will find you have a really great time. The sad reality of manhood, as we are speaking about it and engaging with it currently, is that even MTR is talking about he's teaching men to be more masculine, and there's not a lot of empathy from men to other men in terms. I mean, we can look at the black men homicide rate, and we know there's not a lot of empathy from men to other men. And I think it is unfortunate that we don't have the language to engage with each other in an effort to help one another grow emotionally. And I don't trust MTR to do it. So there's that. Because he can't even vet. Like literally everyone saw this errand man. Everyone saw this turtle head looking man. And we were like, yeah, no, absolutely not. This man toxic. The way you are engaging with these women who say no, they don't want to go on a date with you, or they popped their balloon and decided you are not for me. The way he engaged with them told us everything we needed to know about him. And you decided, MTR, to say, this is what MTR said. MTR said what this man portrayed on that show was masculinity. That we were mad at a masculine man for standing in his masculinity. So if MTR believes this is what masculinity is, then I promise you, he's not going to be helping, he's going to be hurting a society if he's teaching men that's how you show up in your quote unquote masculinity. Absolutely not. You're toxic too. You're part of the problem. And now I understand. In some ways, I defended him against even my channel. Sorry, y'all. Apologies. I did defend MTR because I thought that him being on the Homeland Security watch list was fine, but him ranking 3rd over pearly things and the oysters and all of them in the sea, I thought that was like weird. And I did defend him against that. And I talked about how him as a black man being put up above the white people in terms of toxicity for a watch list, essentially a hit list from Homeland Security. It was weird. But now I see. Now I see. I'm kidding. I still agree with my initial stance about his ranking. He should be on there, but maybe not 3rd. Not over the Grand Wizard of the Manosphere, girl. Not over the Grand Wizard of the Manosphere.
You guys saw in that live stream how his spirit picked up when the super chat started to come in, and he just kept saying, thank you. I appreciate that, because he had support. He had support because he's demonstrating himself as someone that is trying to learn. When I watched that live stream with Brandon Jamal, I saw someone that might be too far gone. That's what I saw. When I looked into my DMs and I thought, you're not talking to me, that must mean you a pussy. When I saw shit like that, I said to myself, I don't think he deserves a platform right now. I'm not seeing man behavior. And that's what I ride for. Conducting yourself like a man. No matter where you come from, you can be something that no one thought that you could be when you grow up. Before my father passed away, he told me I lived a good life. A good life that the teachers around me, the people around me never thought that I'd see past 18. My pops was from South Ozone Park, Jamaica, Queens, New York. That was my father's story. Grew up in poverty. His mother got stabbed in the next room 50 times, and he could hear it. Scratches all over the wall that they never even changed the doors to. So every day he had to sit and look at the claw marks of his mother. He made it beyond 18, and he raised me to be an image of him that he never had an opportunity to be as a kid. This is Black American man shit. So y'all wonder why I go so hard for this? Because I understand it. That's why I go so hard. Because I understand it. That's why that was part of my purpose in life, to do things that my father was never able to do for himself. And every time that I accomplished, his eyes would light up because I am his legacy. That's why it means so much to me. Nevertheless, what I want to do right now is that I want to go through their reaction. And I want to have a discussion. Like I said before, this is not a beef. I am so happy that Abba and Preach have this opinion, and it might be a little bit different than mine, and that's fine. If they want to come up, Abba or Preach, they want to come up and have a conversation where we can build, because I'm not up here to destroy and to do some shot jock content. Like, I really want to push this conversation forward. This man is not an equal response to the way that he conducted himself. It's not. And if he doesn't have the ability to stand on business because he doesn't have the vocabulary platform to do it, I will. Is he perfect? No. Hell no, he's not perfect. Is he flawed? Like a motherfucker, he's flawed. But I've seen him before. He's in my family. I've seen Arians before. So let's talk about it. But they cooking me in the comments, y'all. It's like I'm sizzling. I'm sizzling. I'm being burned alive. Where's my sound? Oh, I can't do my soundboard on Streamer. That's why I don't like Streamer. I can't quite figure it out. If anyone knows how to do soundboard Streamer, feel free to hit me up. We can do a session. You can help me out. But this needs to be a conversation. Now, before I get started, I'm about to bring up their video. But let me acknowledge some of the super chats that came in, please.
So we can all agree that was a full deep-throated full-throated. We can all agree that was a full-throated defense of this man talking about MTR is like, let's have a debate. Let me show you his face, what his face look like right now. MTR is like, let's have a debate. Let's debate. He should lose his job. Okay, let's do it. Let's debate. Prove to me that he had a job. Prove to me that he had a job as a plumber, and then prove to me that he lost his job as a plumber, and then also prove that he lost his job because these women called up to his job. Now, if you can do those things, I would agree with you. I would agree. I don't think he should lose his job because of what he said on the stream. I think people should boycott his job because of what he went on the stream. I think women should think he's toxic. But the reason, by the way, I don't think he should be fired, because apparently women, was one of the ladies that popped her balloon literally said, and because this is so quick, and it's almost like 2:00 at night. I'm not going to pull it up. But the lady who dragged him initially, who said, I wasn't going to pop my balloon because I thought you were great and I don't like my man to be in woman's face. So you want a disrespectful man, but you don't want that man to be disrespectful to you. That's what you think is going to happen. That's what you want. Absolutely not. But I've decided to leave that lady alone. I told my Discord if I went through this, I would have to talk about that lady. But like, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time. So let's get into this. So after MTR was online defending, girl, he was tired. He was getting dragged by men and women alike. MTR was getting dragged for not being able to vet. He was getting dragged for how he looked. I didn't agree with this. He was getting dragged for his steak. He was getting dragged. People were saying he probably wanted to sleep with the man, which is weird and wild. And why would you say that? People were just dragging him. And I mean, men. If you go under Abba Preacher's comment, girl, they are having a field day with him. And I even see some of the comments under his video of him getting dragged. So the fact that everyone seemed to be able to see through this Aaron guy by this Ninja Turtle looking guy. The fact that everyone was able to see through it except MTR is kind of weird. And I don't know now if I believe there might be a part of him that knew and wanted to take this opportunity to highlight himself as someone who is willing to say he's wrong, right? Because now there is currency in being willing to be the content creator who said something and come out and say, you know what, guys, I was wrong. I hope that's the long con or something. Because, like, for you to be this idiotic in your inability to kind of vet as well. This is not even a vetting thing. It's just like, look at him. Like, girl,
Pop the balloon guy after I asked him to provide receipts to prove that he lost his job. He got mad at me, and I'm gonna show you that. Before that, let's get into his GoFundMe. Now, mind you, this GoFundMe is how I came across this story. The Pop the Balloon story is something that happened a couple of weeks ago. What made it viral was him informing people on his Instagram, him uploading this GoFundMe saying that he was fired from his workplace because of 500 people called in because they were mad at the results of the show. They were mad at his demeanor on the show. You can see right here, right in the GoFundMe, it says, I was fired from work today due to these videos. Today was honestly the first time that I cried in a while. Getting my license in plumbing was the biggest life accomplishment. It took years of hard work, studying, and praying. And then he also added some things in here about who he provides free plumbing services to. And then he goes to say what he's going to do with the funds. He's saying humanitarian work, and then maybe he wants to become a content creator because now his ability to work is compromised. After I got wind of this, I did an initial reaction to it where I focused on the basic premise of, was his behavior on the show indicative of them getting fired? But again, I would have not known about this unless he told people and convinced us all that he got fired. But because
do not attempt to gaslight us. Initially, it wasn't about whether or not he got fired. You might have talked about whether or not he should be fired, but initially you were talking about how what he did was not wrong. So if you are going to break up your stance, you have to break it up meaningfully. You have to first contend with the idea that you came out and you said he was a masculine man holding masculine frame, and when masculine men hold masculine frame, they're going to be attacked by people who don't want to see men be masculine. That is your argument. You don't now get to pretend like you were only talking about how he was fired and that was wrong. No, you were defending him insofar as you thought what he did was good. I say that with nail polish on my finger. I'm ready to be dragged, girl. It's fine.
But because, and I've said this multiple times before on multiple different videos, including the live streams that I did, because he has not showed hard receipts or proof of being fired, I never told anybody to go and donate to the young brother. So I tried to reach out to this brother because I wanted to receive proof.
This is not true. You did tell people that you were supporting him, that you were talking to him behind the scenes, that you were engaged with him, that you were trying to help him, that he should start his own page. And then you allowed him to give his Cash App, and you allowed him, and you put forward, not even you allowed him, you pulled up his GoFundMe. How are you going to show this man GoFundMe on your page and tell his Cash App and then say, oh, you didn't tell people to go support him? Have you lost your mind, girl? Have you absolutely lost your mind? You don't even know how to take accountability. Talking about you going to teach men masculinity. Anywho, let's continue.
Of that he was let go and the reason that he was let go. And because he was unable to reach out to me in the time that I reached out to him, I'm not going to leave a link to this in the description, but you guys saw his Instagram handle. If you want to go over there, take a look at his page and support him, that's 100% on you. It's just for me personally, in order to be able to link and to promote a GoFundMe, I have to see hard proof. I for damn sure don't want to be on the receiving end of another brickface incident, a person lying. I'm not saying that he's a liar, but I'd like to do further due diligence in the research before I put my stamp of approval on something. But I hope he gets back to me soon. I'd love to be able to have an interview with him, so we can get additional context into what kind of happened maybe before or after the show, which kind of went into his particular response. What I did do is, in an attempt to humanize him and to find out more about his stories, I did a 5-hour live stream with to donate. Also, too, because I said this in one of my videos, but what proof do you have that you were actually let go? And I'm asking because we've been scammed in the past. There's been people in the past that have brickface. I just keep talking about her. Set up GoFundMe, and she's allegedly a liar. She's right. She's facing a felony count for lying right now. Do you have any proof to demonstrate fired?
Yes. Now I will have some. Give me a few more days. What's today? Friday. Yeah, give me a few days sometime next week because we are negotiating.
With GoFundMe? Oh,
Oh,
negotiate with the workplace.
Yes. Negotiations are being made because they see the social media attention and they are frightened.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's all I can say is say that much.
Okay. Well, when you get that update, let me know, and I'll do
Okay.
everything in my power to make sure that my audience knows as well as within the GoFundMe. I think you can update it and you can show other pictures or proof or something like that. But I know that that's a concern for folks as well. What I've come to find out is that there were so many lies told to me, but this guy had everybody convinced that he got fired, right? Well, in an attempt.
MTR, you're going to have to sit there and take that L by yourself, completely by yourself. For you to sit up there and say this guy had everyone fooled is absolutely diabolical. No, he had you fooled, and you attempted to manipulate everyone else to be fooled with you, to jump in that thinking banana boat with you and take them out to sea. And nobody did that. We did not do that. You did that all on your own. You did that. You made live streams after live streams and videos after videos defending this man where people are like, girl, what is this? Oh, who this man be? Now, who is this man? Who this man be? You did that. Talking about he had the world fooled. No, sir, the world was dragging him, which is why you stepped in and decided that you were going to defend him. Talking about, oh no, no, it's a good man. He's changing his life. You asked him to show receipt that he was fired. Mind you, you had to couch the request for receipt that he was fired in a bunch of like nonsense and sugar to shove it down his throat, which actually makes me believe that you know how toxic this man is first. When you have to sugarcoat the request the way that you did is wild, but also it feels like you didn't trust him either. Talking about, oh, show me the receipts. He said immediately, I'm in negotiations with my boss because, girl, no. So let's wait for this receipt. Imagine if this is like them playing games where there is a receipt, but they actually made this video so that they can just feed off this content for a while. Y'all can continue to do this. I will be on break. And when I come back, I'll deal with whatever may come. I don't trust these people. So they might still be in cahoots.
You to support the young brother. I actually talked to him this morning and asked him, when are you going to provide us a receipt? Because I'd love to be able to show. And I think the quicker that you provide receipts, the quicker that GoFundMe, who has locked his account, he is unable to get this money out of his account right now, would open it. In fact, let's go through the DM conversations right now. So yesterday, last night, Sunday at 9:02 p.m., he called me out of nowhere. I missed that call. Notifications on my Instagram are obviously off. I only see things when I actually check my Instagram. He called me. I didn't see it. He said, damn, bro, that's crazy, man. You got me looking insane now and painted me out the wrong way. And I'm thinking to myself,
painting him out the wrong way is nasty work. The only way you could have looked better in the way that the possibilities of good that you could look is if Jesus himself was hosting the interview and decided that you were already good and he was never going to push back and go and lend you his credibility. Because the way that MTR was a doormat for you to walk all over, and you definitely walked all over him as he literally defended everything about you, is absolutely wild. So like, this is not a defense of MTR, because MTR was so weak and useless in that interview that you came out being the best you could be and you still look degenerate. It was not him who made you look bad, girl. You were just bad.
Finally saw this. I'm like, what are you talking about? We painted you out the wrong way. I've been going above and beyond to let you recount your story. I hold you accountable when you say weird things like tracking the woman in the car, or, when you're throwing money in the club. We have these conversations, but what you tell to me is you're trying to be better. These are in private conversations. You're trying to be better. You're trying to learn. You're looking for advice. You're looking for mentorship. There is nothing that I've done up to this point that demonstrates me attempting to make you look crazy. It sounds more like someone biting the hand that is giving them a platform. He follows up and he says, man, bro, this got me stressing hard. Man, I thought you was my friend. I wrote this morning, just woke up, hit me when you get this. I then follow a reply to one of his messages about him stressing. And I'm like, not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, it just hit me. I'm like, whatever you think could probably just be solved in a quick audio conversation. So we have a audio conversation from 8:27 a.m. to 8:45. Within this conversation, we talk about many different things. But the main thing that I talked about within this conversation is I said, we only know about you and your story due to the GoFundMe, where you said you were fired from the place that you worked. Where did you work? What is the name of the business? What is the name of the company? I need you to provide that information, because if you don't, you scammed on GoFundMe. This is now a legal issue. you. And I cannot support a liar. I cannot support a thief. I cannot support a scammer. Send that to me. His response to me was, okay, sure, we'll do. I said, okay, the coast is clear. Everything is fine. He's about to send it to me, all right? So over an hour later, over 2 hours later, no response. And I said to him, just in the text message, what's the name of the place that fired you? Here was his response. Apparently he changed his tune out of nowhere. I wonder why. I'm not doing nothing until I talk to my attorney. I told you that already. And this was the point of the conversation that I took a step back. I looked at the DM message and I said to myself, I might have been bamboozled. Although I had enough discernment not to donate, and I did not do enough research into his claims to give him a platform to speak about any damn thing. And I own it. I take accountability for that. No excuses. Okay, well, I wish you the best, I said. My credit.
No, don't make this into a we can't trust people, we need to shut down our platforms. You can be wrong and be apologetic about being wrong after you've used your platform. But you weren't just wrong, you were literally defending him. You did not provide any pushback. I feel, and this is my true belief, you don't have to be a journalist, you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be even thoughtful, actually. Just ask questions. Actually, when a question pops into your mind, ask it. It looks like throughout the 5 hours of you talking, you were holding back, which means you didn't even believe him. And if you didn't believe him, it brings into question your character and credibility if you're going to let someone sit up on your platform and make up stories. Actually, random plug-in self stuff. There was this man whining and crying about how women use his platform to do foolishness and whatever. And like people keep sending me videos of people. I'm just going to cut through all of that mess. And women who say the same thing. If you have a platform and you disagree with what is being said on your platform, you do have a responsibility once you know to engage with and push back against that which is being said as a sort of ground level issue. The fact that MTR is up here crying and whining about how he was bamboozled and tricked all boils down to the fact that you put on your cape and blinders all at the same time. You jumped into a ring without knowing anything about what is happening, and you just knew who you were going to defend, and that was it. That was all. This is the result of such a foolish stance. And you can go back to your videos because now you reposted them. You can go back to your video, look at it, and realize, oh, yeah, I was tripping. You can literally go through. You can go through. That man was mean and disrespectful in the beginning. From inception of this controversy, from the pop the balloon stage, this man was out of pocket. Everything after that lead us to believe he's a scammer. I'm not sure why you were mistaken in talking about, oh, he had us all fooled. He did not have us all fooled. He had you fooled, and you attempted to trick your audience, mislead your audience, weaponize your audience against women, because that shouldn't take that much work. Your audience already hate them, so you just hit the gas. just lit the gasoline.
Credibility is now in question because of lack of proof / receipts. I'm gonna go live in the next couple hours to discuss this with my audience. Take care. You like that message? You just worried about making content, not worried about the consequences I may face. You may face. What are you talking about? What consequences? Besides that you lied. Potentially, allegedly. I mean, I really don't know at this point. All you gotta do is provide the receipts, baby. That's it. This whole shit would just go away. You get the GoFundMe money. That's all you have to do. But the way that you are now moving in totality with the other information that is coming out and will come out about you and your lifestyle is way more damning. It's way more ridiculous than I could have ever imagined. And what I thought was going to turn into a way to advocate for a man that was unjustly treated because of his presence on a game show has now turned into somehow you becoming the victim once asked to prove your particular situation. See, a man of integrity and truth would jump at the opportunity to show me the evidence. But this is not how you're choosing to move. Therefore, I sense deception. I told you we were negotiating and I would get it to you. But do what you got to do. You already switched up on me. Shout out to the queen of accountability. She stepped into my live stream that I did yesterday, the Abba and Preach response live stream. And she super chatted that she was going to do additional work to understand the validity of his claims. And I want to play for you that conversation that I had with her right now. All right, so I got the queen of accountability.
All right. I'm not going to play this. This is part of the conversation I was talking about where people are dipping into his criminal history and all of that, and they're exposing it. I won't be doing any of that over here, partly because, well, I won't get into it. In any case, I think that MTR hasn't really done any of the work really to figure out why it was that he was so quick to defend this man. But it also is emblematic of how we as a culture decide that this man, in Jonathan Majors, for example, but just generally men, we're going to defend, we're going to defend, we're going to defend, and we're going to say everyone else lying on this man. And it's so weird that we got an opportunity to see in real time MTR representing the community that rallies behind this man that is ultimately toxic, right? And lying and causing a lot of harm in his path. And then MTR uses this black woman, which this woman is attempting to also build her channel. I'm assuming, apologies late to the woman, I don't know her. And so she comes on to talk to MTR about some of the things that she suspects and have been investigating when it comes to Aaron. The issue is MTR should have done at least some due diligence. Like, if I make the mistake of adding someone to my platform, it's small enough to where it's insignificant. MTR's channel isn't that small, right? Like, you don't get to say, whoopsie, I did not know this man was a scammer. And so I'm going to show him to my entire audience for them to go support him, because that's ultimately what he did. You had your audience like lamb to the slaughter go out, and now this is what we have. And you haven't even done the work to figure out why it is that you were so deeply invested in this man. And if men's rights and men's protection and you wanting to protect men against those evil women in society, which is a wild claim to be making, mind you, if that is your position, you now have work to do in regards to how you go about accomplishing this protect men against women role that you have now found yourself in. Now, I will add this, and because if MTR is watching, he won't be up here. I do actually believe that there is space for men to help other men. And it is so frustrating because I understand now what people are saying when they say it's the algorithm's fault. A lot of people who might have a lot of good ideas and want to help men separately, I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can do that effectively online. And the reason is because the algorithm does not reward people who are trying to help, right? Your nuanced takes and your actual advice isn't going to be useful if no one else hears it. And so people only listen to things that are dramatic and even useless, really, that gets them to escape their own reality outside of improving it. And so if you're talking about working out and eating right and going to a job and going to school and all of that, I don't see a lot of these men engaging with it. And we know this because the self help industry is capitalizing on women, not men. So while women are investing in self, men are lying online about helping men develop, knowing that content around developing men will not be watched by men. So I question all these men, including MTR, who are talking about creating schools and safe communities for men to come together and develop. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. I'm going to need you to show proof of men coming to your channel to watch you talk about men development. I don't see it. I don't see it. All right. So I'm way over. I'm going to end it here. I really appreciate y'all. I miss you all so, so much. I'm doing the StreamYard link. I'm doing the StreamYard thing, my Bob. I'm doing a video on StreamYard. And so I kind of wish that you all were in the StreamYard with me at 1:40 a.m. at night, because I would have loved to see your comments, but unfortunately, you all cannot be here because it's unlisted. And now I'm going to edit it and post it for Friday. So, hey, Friday, yay! Have a good one. Bye. Oh, also, so my trip to Puerto Rico, which was last weekend, it was a weekend trip. Then I came back and then I worked Monday, and then I'm going to take my actual vacation on Tuesday and go to Portugal. I enjoyed it. I have a ton of videos on there with me vlogging. So for my members, just like I did for my other trip or my other video with Vanessa, I will edit another video. I'm going to try to edit this myself. We'll see. And I will post it. I will post it. I have videos from New York also. I have videos from my trip to Ebony in the Park. I don't remember what that festival is called, but I also have videos there. And now I have videos of Puerto Rico, and I will have videos when I go to Portugal. So I I'm actually stocking up on a lot of footage and image and all of that, and I don't know what to do with it. If I'm trying to edit, because in my mind I have my outlines of my vlogs, but editing videos is not my thing. So yeah. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, everyone. Bye.